Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, i-review natin itong Mitsubishi X-Force 2024. Ito ngayon yung entry ng Mitsubishi sa compact crossover segment. Matagal din bago nagkaroon ng bagong crossover ang Mitsubishi. Ang pinaka-last nila yung Mitsubishi ASX na wala na ngayon sa Philippine market. To give you a perspective, ang mga kalaban niya sa compact crossover segment is yung Yaris Cross ng Toyota, yung Ford Territory, yung Honda HR-V, Kia Seltos, at nandyan din yung Nissan Kicks. So, check natin yung mga details kung worth the price ba siya. And before I continue, gusto ko munang magpasalamat kay Beth Valencia ng Mitsubishi dito sa BGC. Ilalagay ko yung contact number niya dito para tawagan nyo siya kung meron kayong inquiry about Mitsubishi vehicles. Okay, let's start muna sa exterior design. For me, sa lahat ng lineup ng Mitsubishi cars today, ito yung pinakamalakas ang dating, lalo na kung makikita mo siya in person. The X-Force is the latest evolution of Mitsubishi's dynamic shield design. I think isa siya sa mga sasakyan sa market na mukha siyang concept car. Kasi yung mga details gaya ng headlight niya is eye-catching and high quality. Yung headlights niya is T-shape na LED. Tapos meron siyang distinctive T-shaped design with slitted accents. As you can see here, the daytime running lights creates fluidity pagdating sa front fascia niya. And then it extends hanggang dun sa babang portion. And then yung headlight niya is seamlessly integrated dun sa baba ng DRL, which really looks clean to me. And marami siyang mga smoke accents na nagbibigay ng design contrast doon sa mismong design philosophy niya. At doon sa lower portion ng bumper, meron siyang bulging design na garnish. And also, pag nakita mo yung lines niya, it's both boxy and sharp at the same time. Yung wheels niya is 18-inch two-tone alloy na ang size is 225/50R18. And by the way, dito sa rear wheels, naka-disc brakes na siya. Pagdating sa side niya, meron siyang lower garnish dito with the silver accent. I like the way they designed the hood. It's a lot more pronounced. Unlike dun sa iba na sloping yung design ng hood. Yung boxiness and bulkiness ng design continuous hanggang dun sa likod. Pagdating naman sa side mirror niya, it's gloss black. Ang negative lang dito, wala siyang 360 camera. If you look at the side, it looks balanced for me. Kumbaga, free-flowing lang yung design niya at halos wala siyang awkward na angles. So if you are going to design a crossover, ganito dapat. And also, yung height ng hood niya gives it an SUV look. Two-tone nga pala ang color scheme nitong X-Force. Bali, black yung roof, which is the same sa dalawang variants. And so, it gives character to the vehicle. Okay, punta naman tayo sa rear. I think this is the best design pagdating sa rear. So, it's very futuristic and at the same time, it's minimalist. And even yung tailgate niya, how it was designed to shape the bumper, looks sophisticated and pinag-isipan. So yung taillight design niya is a reflection of the headlight. Even yung mga LED sa loob looks upmarket na makikita mo lang sa mga concept car. And then yung garnish sa front and side, continuous dito sa rear bumper niya. At maganda rin yung pagkakadesign ng spoiler niya. At naka-shark fin antenna na rin siya. I think isa ito sa pinaka-attractive na compact crossover dito sa ating market. I think sa design philosophy niya, halatang pinag-isipan yung pagkakadesign niya. I think many would agree na good-looking talaga siya na compact crossover. Okay, check natin yung interior. Pagdating sa mga materials used, maraming hard plastics ang ginamit. Pag tiningnan mo ng maigi, good quality na plastics naman ang ginamit. Yun lang, may mga gloss black material dito sa mga high touch points dito sa switch ng windows at saka ng side mirror. Ang maganda dito, meron siyang ambient lighting dito sa ilalim ng gloss black material na to. And then meron siyang branded na speaker system which is Yamaha. Even yung door panels niya merong layering effect. para ma-uplift yung design. Yun lang, ang sidings niya is plastic. Pero meron naman siyang accent na parang cloth dito. At yung pinaka-soft touch na material nandito lang sa may armrest na leather. And then dito sa baba, meron siyang bottle holder. Okay, check naman natin itong steering wheel. It's tilt and telescopic. And I like the design. It reminds me of the Evo. Actually, yung design nito is nasa Expander and Montero din. Dito sa right, nandito yung buttons for the adaptive cruise control. At dito naman sa left, nandito yung control for the instrument cluster and head unit. At ang hindi maganda dito is manual pa din yung adjustments ng front seats niya. But what I like is yung height ng seats niya. It's very supportive at masarap siyang upuan. At dito sa passenger side, merong hidden storage just like sa Expander na pwede kang maglagay ng shoes. So, very nice yung feature na yan. Actually, yung design ng dashboard niya looks appealing. So, maraming layering dito just like how European cars design their interiors. So, yung design niya sa labas matches what the interior looks like. Pagdating sa materials used, it's not the best. Pero pagdating sa design perspective, it looks upscale on that aspect. Pag tinignan mo siya in the flesh, maganda yung ambience sa loob. And then meron siyang fabric-like material dito na parang nakalagay dun sa Mazda CX-60. Dito hard plastic sa taas and then dito nandito yung fabric material at dito sa baba meron kang storage na pwede kang maglagay ng mga cards. And then meron siyang power tailgate which is a good plus at nandito yung headlight leveling switch niya. And yung design ng infotainment screen at saka yung instrument cluster niya is in one piece. Meron siyang 7-inch instrument cluster na digital at saka infotainment system na 12.1 inches. Ang hindi ko lang gusto dito yung design niya parang sa Stargazer. Meron siyang chunk of plastic na kulay black. At dito nakalubog yung instrument cluster. Sana diretso lang para continuous yung instrument cluster at saka yung infotainment screen. I think may use naman yan para visible yung instrument cluster pag maaraw. At itong fabric here is continuous throughout the dashboard. And then meron ditong extra storage na merong ambient lighting sa baba. At dito naman is merong glove box compartment na damp. So decent naman yung size niya. At dito sa A-pillar niya, meron kang makikita na coaxial na Yamaha sound system. Dito yung vents niya at saka yung hazard light at naka dual zone aircon system na rin siya. Meron ditong 12 volt socket at meron din siya ditong charging point na Type A at saka Type C. At meron na din siyang wireless charging. At dito naman nakalagay yung start-stop button niya dito sa ibabaw. Nandito naman yung switch for the drive modes. At dito, nandito yung switch for the overdrive. Ang kagandahan dito, meron na siyang auto hold at saka yung electronic parking brake, which is very useful kung ide-daily mo siya, especially in traffic. At dito naman sa shift lever mo, surrounded by black material, which is actually scratch magnet. Dito naman, meron dalawang cup holders. At dito sa ilalim ng center armrest, meron ditong compartment na merong cooler. Ito, meron kang switch dito na pwedeng lumamig yung mga drinks mo. So, pwede kang maglagay ng bottles dyan para palamigin. Dito naman sa center console, merong side pocket yan. Magkabilaan yan. Which is a nice touch to maximize yung center console. Dito naman sa taas, may lalagyan ng sunglass. At yung ilaw niya is hindi LED, which should be standard na sa ganitong price point. Dito naman sa driver side, merong sun visor na merong vanity mirror na merong ilaw. At dito sa passenger side, meron ding vanity mirror, meron din siyang ilaw. Yung headliner niya is kulay black, which gives it a sporty look. So, punta naman tayo dito sa rear door. Same as the front, pareho lang yung materials dito sa likod. Ang medyo old school lang dito yung lock mechanism na hinihila, parang yung sa Triton. Pagdating dito sa likod, dito ako nagandahan. Meron ditong map pockets and then meron pa din ditong lalagyan ng cellphone dito sa bandang ibabaw. Makikita mo dito yung space niya dito is actually very good, very spacious siya. So, yung footroom niya is spacious din. So, makaka-relax ka dito, especially sa long drive. At dito sa likod, meron kang Type-C at saka Type-A na port. Ang maganda dito, meron siyang aircon vent dito sa likod. Tapos yung center tunnel niya is flat. So, yung middle passenger would be comfortable. Yung headroom niya is very good, very roomy for this size. Yung ilaw lang dito sa loob is hindi din siya LED. Yung seats niya ay good quality naman, maganda yung cushioning. At dito is meron din siyang center headrest. Yung seat niya dito sa likod is 40-20-40 split. At dito sa armrest, meron dalawang cup holders. Ang maganda dito is butas dito hanggang dun sa likod. So, pwede kang kumuha ng gamit sa likod. At kung mayroon kang mahabang gamit, pwede mo siyang ipasok. Ang isa pang nice here is nare-recline mo itong rear seat mo. So, maganda yung angle ng back seat niya. Maraming positions. At dito sa rear portion ng seat, nakita ko meron ditong extra storage. Okay, check naman natin itong tailgate. It's a power tailgate. Malaki naman ang space dito sa likod. At dito sa ibabaw, merong tonneau cover na medyo flimsy ang pagkakagawa, malambot pero nai-fold siya. At nandito sa ilalim yung spare tire niya. Hindi siya full size, donut type siya. At dito sa trunk space, meron din siyang additional na divider. So, pwede kang maglagay dito ng additional na gamit. And then, meron din dito siyang parang cove light. At dito naman sa right side, nandito yung lalagyan ng jack at saka ng tools. So, try naman nating i-fold itong second row seat. As you can see, meron siyang parang hump dyan. Yun nga palang flooring nito, pwede mong i-adjust. So, pwede mo siyang itaas para maging flat siya. So, that's a nice touch. I think kung maglalagay ka dito ng mga things na matataas, malaki na rin yung space niya for a crossover. And also, very convenient din na naka-power tailgate siya. Okay, punta naman tayo sa pinaka-controversial part, yung kanyang engine. Yung engine niya is 1.5 liter 4A91 that you can find from the Mitsubishi Expander. Yung maximum power niya is 105 PS at 6,000 RPM. At yung torque niya is 141 Nm at 4,000 RPM. By the way, ang transmission niya is CVT. Madidismaya ka lang sa power niya kasi only 105 PS. So, masyadong mahina ang makina. Sana ang ginawa ni Mitsubishi, tinurbocharge niya ito para lumakas yung makina. O kaya nilakahan niya ng konti yung power output ng makina. For me, underpowered talaga siya. That's one of the downside of this vehicle. Pero on the good side, ang kagandahan naman ito yung reliability niya. Kasi it has been proven and tested dito sa Expander. Mind you, yung Expander MPV yun with 7 people capacity. Ito, maliit lang ang body at 5-seater lang siya. So in terms of power to weight ratio, mas better naman siya than the Expander. So ang difference ni Expander sa powertrain nitong X-Force is yung transmission. Pag ginamit mo yung CVT transmission, parang malamya ang takbo. Pero ang CVT naman kasi is geared towards fuel efficiency. Yun lang, in real world scenario, napansin ko kahit CVT yung sasakyan, hindi pa rin siya ganong katipid. So don't expect too much power on this engine. So ite-test drive din natin ito. Tingnan natin, bigyan natin ng chance. Mind you, I don't expect good power out of this vehicle. But let's see, baka hindi naman masama in real-world applications. Also, nakadepende rin yan sa mating ng transmission at yung tuning ng CVT. Okay, test drive na natin. Ito yung test drive unit na color white na option nila. Okay, let's see dito sa test drive yung power delivery niya, yung braking system niya, at yung other characteristics niya.
Monitor niya. SUV na kasi siya, sir.
So parang first impression, it's very car-like. Malambot yung manibela at ang gaan niyang dalahin. Not bad din yung interior vibe niya. Actually, maganda nga eh. It's roomy and it looks modern. Ang isa pang na-notice ko dito, yung clarity ng screen niya. Maganda. Meron din talagang head unit na parang locally sourced yung quality. Ito hindi. Even doon sa instrument cluster niya, okay din, malinaw yung screen. And surprisingly, malakas yung lumalabas na air dito sa vent sa likod. And usually, mahina lang yan kasi kumukuha lang yan ng hangin doon sa fan sa harap. Usually, mahina yan eh. Meron siyang different drive modes. Meron siyang mud, meron siyang wet, gravel, and normal. Sa different drive modes, I think meron siyang pagkakaiba pagdating sa traction control management.
Sure, mas tipid sa gas to sa XK expander.
Kaya kasi mas maliit ang body.
Oo.
Malakas naman ang acceleration eh.
Okay, from the get-go, okay naman yung response ng CVT niya. Meron naman siyang low-end power, pero don't expect a good amount of feedback sa CVT niya talaga. Mamaya itetest natin siya kapag binilisan natin yung speed. Feeling ko, pagdating sa low-end power, okay naman siya. And I think as you go higher sa rev range, nararamdaman mo yung power loss. Meron talagang mga CVT na malamya from the get-go. Pero dito, surprisingly, hindi siya masyadong noticeable. Pagdating naman sa brakes niya, yung braking power niya is average lang. So when it comes to the progression of the brakes, maganda naman yung feel niya. Hindi siya spongy yung feeling. Nasa gitna lang siya. So comfortable siya for daily use.
Kilometers pa lang takbo nito eh.
Ang kagandahan nito, yung steering niya is already electric power assisted. So, hindi siya yung pinaka-lightest na EPS sa mga na-drive ko. Ang maganda dito, malakas yung aircon. At meron din siyang air purifier system na tinatawag nilang Nano X. That cleans the circulation of the air in the cabin. Dito sa kanyang infotainment screen, may makikita kang mga valuable information dito, such as yung torque niya, yung acceleration, yung fuel economy, and many others. Yung suspension niya is actually soft, but typical sa kasa, mataas yung pressure ng tire. So, ramdam ko yung daan. So, nararamdaman ko na matigas yung gulong. Pero yung suspension niya, malambot naman. Okay, doon pa lang makikita mo yung performance ng CVT. This type of transmission is not suited for spirited driving. So, okay siya for normal ride lang, chill ride lang. Pero ramdam mo talaga kaagad yung rubber band effect ng CVT. But for the most part, kung hindi mo naman siya hahatawin, normal drive lang, okay din siya. Mararamdaman mo lang ang pagka-underpower niya kapag nag-spirited driving ka. Pero kung city ka lang, daily use, I think tamang-tama lang yung powertrain niya for that purpose. Doon sa part ng stretch ng road na yon, tinry ko lang yung casual drive na hindi inaapakan ng madiin yung gas pedal. So okay naman siya. It gets to speed on a normal manner. So in terms of power delivery, linear din yung pagka-deliver niya. Yung peak torque niya pasok ng about 1,400 RPM. Mafe-feel mo lang ang power niya sa low end. But once na pumasok ka na sa highway speed, nararamdaman mo talaga yung power loss sa higher rev range. Pagdating sa NVH, okay naman siya. Hindi mo masyado naririnig yung noise coming from the outside. But other than that, tahimik naman yung experience. Ang medyo noticeable lang dito is yung tire noise. Once you get up to speed, other than that, okay na lahat. And I think kung ang mindset mo is comfortable and efficient as a daily driver, I think pasok naman siya sa category na yon. Pagdating sa build quality, NVH level, comfort, and interior ambience, it really falls under the daily driver category. Kasi kung nasa city ka lang naman, hindi mo kailangan ng malakas na engine. So, hindi lahat ng tao gusto yung spirited driving. Some would like chill drive lang. Mind you, you can also use it sa mga long drives, pero don't expect power from the engine. Makakarating siya sa malalayong lugar but with a little bit more of effort. Actually, yung mga Japanese competitors meron ding 100 to 120 horsepower. Pero meron ding nakakataas na up to 170 horsepower. Iba naman ang atake ng mga Chinese cars. Ang ginagawa nila, they use 1.5 liters engine and then tinuturbocharge nila. So they increase the horsepower rating ranging from 150 to 175 horsepower. So mas malalakas yung engines nila. At ang price nga para nitong top of the line is nasa 1.58 million kasi dalawang variants lang naman eh. Ang pagkakaiba lang nitong top of the line, meron siyang mga active safety features. Meron siyang adaptive cruise control, forward collision mitigation, rear cross traffic alert, blind spot warning, and auto high beam. Meron na din siyang TPMS. In addition, meron siyang ABS, EBD, at saka yung electronic parking brake with auto hold function. Meron din siyang 6 airbags, active stability control, at saka hill start assist. Aside from that, meron din siyang anti-locking brake system at saka yung electronic force distribution. So yung list ng safety features, ito yung mga basic or important na kailangan mo sa nowadays, no? So hindi mo kailangan yung napakadaming mga features. Ito yung basic na you will actually use. Okay, let's summarize. For me, dapat nag-add ng other variants si Mitsubishi. Kasi ito, dalawang variants lang. Kasi as of now, meron lang siyang dalawang variant. Yung low-end variant na selling for 1.367 million. At itong top spec na 1.58 million pesos. Is it worth it given the price level? For me, I am on the neutral side. Kahit papaano in terms of build quality, yung interior vibe niya, even yung exterior niya, it looks and feel premium na. Kung ikukumpara mo siya sa Japanese competitors niya. Pagdating sa technology, hindi naman siya nahuhuli. Meron na siyang adaptive cruise control, blind spot warning, front collision warning, etc. At meron din siyang magandang sound system na Yamaha. Ang pinaka-importante lang na missing dito yung 360-degree camera. So for 1.58 million, dapat may 360 camera na to. Since a big percentage of consumers gusto nila may 360 camera. And for its size naman, kahit walang 360 camera, madali naman siyang i-park. Okay, try naman nating i-tackle itong positives and negatives itong X-Force para magkaroon kayo ng good perspective on what to expect in case na bibili kayo nitong X-Force. Ang unang positive niya yung overall feel and yung build quality talaga. From the exterior, interior, pag nakita mo siya in person, I think malaki yung possibility na magugustuhan mo siya pag nakita mo siya. Even yung interior vibe niya, even though hindi perfect yung materials na ginamit sa loob, well executed siya. At mukha siyang premium lalo na kung makita mo yung design aspect niya. So for a long period of time and long journey, napaka-komportable ng interior space niya na ito. And another positive is yung space niya sa loob. I think sa lahat ng magkakalaban, isa ito sa may pinaka-spacious, lalo na sa rear passenger comfort. Kung malaking cabin space ang hinahanap nyo, magandang i-consider itong X-Force. Even dun sa rear passengers, yung angle ng sandalan ng upuan sa likod, maganda. Comfortable siya. Another good thing is yung tech features niya at saka yung 4 drive modes niya. Meron siyang normal, gravel, wet, and mud. I think with the 4 modes na yon, Mitsubishi is encouraging the owner. Pwede mo din gamitin itong X-Force sa light trail at saka sa outdoor use. And also, mataas din yung ground clearance niya. Since meron siyang mud and gravel na modes, it's more on traction management control yan. Even though front wheel drive siya, medyo capable siya ng konti. And another thing is meron siyang adaptive cruise control. Malaking factor yan kung naglo-long drive ka. And very useful yan and intuitive. At meron siyang active yaw control. So yung mga Mitsubishi enthusiasts dyan, alam nila ito kasi meron yan sa Evo. So it's more on improving the cornering of the vehicle. And I think ang pinaka-underrated aspect nitong X-Force is yung reliable engine niya. Mind you, hindi siya maganda in terms of power delivery, power output, pero in terms of durability and reliability, I think this is one of the most reliable engines in the crossover segment in the market today. Kasi nga, itong engine na ito is from the Expander, which is the best-selling vehicle in Mitsubishi's lineup. So, no wonder na tried and tested na ito. And another good thing here is yung shared parts niya with the Expander. And also, the after-sale service of Mitsubishi is very good. Next, punta naman tayo sa mga negatives. Ang unang negative dito is yung engine power rating niya. I appreciate yung thinking ni Mitsubishi na ilagay yung subok na engine dito sa compact crossover. Pero underpower talaga siya kung iisipin mo. But in real world applications, I think manageable naman yung power niya. Since sa low end, may useful torque ka naman na nararamdaman. So more on point A to point B type of car itong X-Force. And another negative for me is yung kanyang CVT transmission. Kaya nilalagay nila ito sa mga subcompact or compact na sasakyan since I think mas lower yung cost ng CVT transmission. Pero mas maganda sana kung lalagyan nila ito ng torque converter na transmission. Another negative thing here is although meron siyang mga active safety features, nakalimutan lagyan ni Mitsubishi ng 360-degree camera. In this day and age, I think dapat standard na yung 360 camera in this price range. Another negative thing here is yung kanyang price range. Medyo steep yung 1.58 million considering its power output. At this price level, yung competitors niya naka-hybrid system na, naka-turbocharge na rin yung engine, at meron na ding sunroof na malalaki pa, yung iba nga hanggang dun sa likod. Pero I think yung sunroof hindi naman appropriate sa Philippine conditions kasi mainit dito sa Pilipinas. Pero other would prefer it. So far, yun lang naman ang nakikita kong negatives dito sa X-Force. Kung hindi mo lang iisipin yung engine power niya, this is already a good package. So pagdating sa appeal, design execution, and build quality talaga, may laban ito. And you also have a reliable brand na Mitsubishi. Unlike dun sa mga Chinese brands na medyo questionable ang service. In summary, this crossover is reliable, practical, spacious, and has the appeal and build quality in a vehicle. But with a little drawback with its engine output at medyo higher selling price. But actually, if you are going to be open about it, and just remove that engine from the equation, there's still something about this car when it comes to its appeal, its features, and other aspects that makes the selling price somewhat justifiable. If you're just a family of 4 and you want an attractive car with a good after-sale service from a Japanese brand and you want to keep it for a long time, then this car is a good option. Okay, hanggang dito na lang. I hope I have given you some information about this all-new Mitsubishi X-Force. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, see you again my next vlog. Bye!